Dear students, welcome to RATS, Racing Against Time for Students in Pathology. The topic for the day is iron deficiency anemia. This can be an essay, a short essay, definitely a practical question, and asked in a number of subjects shown in the enclosure. I shall be dealing with the topics which can be asked in your examination. The first one can be the iron absorption. In this picture over here, it is a jejunal mucosal cell across which the ion transportation is occurring. You find that there are two pathways, namely the heme ion and the non-heme ion. And in the process, you find that the ferrous is obtained from the ferric form by means of the duodenal cytochrome. The duodenal cytochrome is located over here, and that helps in this conversion. And it is taken up by a divalent metal transporter, and the transport across the cell occurs. The same picture again, you find after it traverses the mucosal cell, it is transported by means of a substance called as ferroportin. Transported by means of ferroportin. Now, when the serum ion is going to be adequate, it is deposited in the liver, etc. There is a production of a substance called hepcidin, which produces a kind of a negative feedback, preventing further absorption. So this is the mucosal block. You'll have to mention the ferritin and the hemocydin, which can be formed and deposited in the tissues. And this is the negative feedback. What are the causes of iron deficiency? You'll be asked enumerate the causes for iron deficiency, in which case it is wise to divide it age-wise and sex-wise. In children, it is because of increased demand, malabsorption, worm infestation. Women in the reproductive age group, it can be because of menorrhagia, pregnancy where there is an increased demand, lactation again, an increased demand. So this is for women in the reproductive age group. Whereas menopausal and postmenopausal, it can be because of malignancies. Usually it is either a uterine malignancy, a cervical malignancy, or a gastrointestinal malignancy. In men, it is malabsorption again. It can be because of some surgeries such as gastrectomy, chronic blood loss, as in the case of hemorrhoids. Malignancy again, it can be anywhere in the GIT or elsewhere, which can pave the way for loss of iron. So these are the causes for iron deficiency. I hope you people are able to memorize this. Manifestations. As mentioned in the earlier class, these can be the classical manifestation: dyspnea, hypercapnia, hyperdynamic circulation. There can be a complaint of hemoptysis or melena, menorrhagia in women, koilonychia. Look at this one. This patient has got a spoon-shaped nail. A spoon-shaped nail which is brittle, which has got ridges over here. It is pale, and even if you keep a drop of water, it stands on it. That is a classical description of a koilonychia. Plummer-Vinson syndrome. The same patient also can develop dysphagia or a difficulty in swallowing. It can be because of a cricoid web or a esophageal web anywhere. And this is a barium swallow that is showing the area of constriction. Plummer-Vinson syndrome can again be a manifestation in iron deficiency anemia. If ignored, it can lead to malignancy. This is one of the classical stain to show the iron stores in the cells. Now when we do it, I find that there are a lot of cells which are showing this positivity for reticulin. This is not the case in iron deficiency. Here it is a lot of cells, about 6 to 8 cells are there. The normal reticulin percentage is 0.2 to 2%. Whereas in iron deficiency it is reduced, in hemolytic anemia it is increased. This picture is just to show you the importance of the reticulin stain. Another stain that can be done is the Pearl's Prussian blue. The Pearl's Prussian blue is used to demonstrate the iron stores anywhere in the body, including the bone marrow. This is the bone marrow. I am able to see the fat spaces, and all the bluish color indicate the presence of iron. The presence of iron is again graded according to the gradation that is given over here. In iron deficiency, it is 0 or markedly reduced. What are the morphological categories in the case of anemia? So this is what we are going to talk about, a microcytic hypochromic anemia. We had already mentioned a normocytic anemia and a macrovasculocytic anemia. Hypochromia. This you people will have to describe in detail. In a normal RBC, I have just drawn a line divided into 3. The diameter has been divided into 3. The central area is the pallor that we see. Now, the central pallor equals to the area of hemoglobinization, and these 3 parts are the same. That is a normal RBC. See what happens in the case of hypochromia. I find that the area of hemoglobinization is much less than the pallor. The pallor keeps increasing. There is a corresponding decrease in the hemoglobinization. And in severe hypochromia, there is just a thin rim of hemoglobinization that is present. And this incidentally is called a ring or a pessary that is used as a contraceptive device in women. So the cells resembling this are called the ring or the pessary cells. The blood picture, classically an essay question for you people, you will have to mention. Red cell indices. Of this, most important will be the mean corpuscular volume, which is less than 80 femtoliters, FL. And the RBCs, we'll have to describe the RBCs. Look at the picture over here. The one thing that is striking me is the pallor of the RBCs. They are all pale. There are some RBCs which are appearing normal, but majority of them are pale. So they are microcytic because of the small size. Look at the small size over here. Hypochromic because of the pallor. Anisopoikilocytosis. Anisocytosis means there is a variation in size. This and this, for example. This and this, for example. So there is a variation in size. Poikilocytosis also. I find some cells are somewhat teardrop shaped in color, some are pure ring or a pessary cell, etc. Some cells are appearing more elongated. So this is poikilocytosis. A combination of both together is described or termed as anisopoikilocytosis. There can be certain RBC inclusions called Howell-Jolly bodies. WBCs are usually normal in a case of iron deficiency anemia, unless the patient has got a worm infestation, wherein we can have eosinophilia found in the WBCs. Platelets are unremarkable. Platelets are unremarkable, even if it happens to be a case of bleeding. So I repeat, RBCs are microcytic, hypochromic, with moderate to severe anisopoikilocytosis, and a good number of ring cells or pessary cells can be seen. Some cells are elongated. Look at this one, and they are called the pencil cells. So these are all the various terminologies. You people will have to draw and describe all these. The catch over here is this incidentally is a teardrop cell. The catch here is another disease called as beta thalassemia can have an identical picture. It is also showing a microcytic hypochromic RBC. But the problem is hemolytic anemia. Beta thalassemia is a hemolytic anemia, whereas iron deficiency, there is a deficiency of iron. In hemolytic anemia, there is an excess of iron. So iron must not be administered in a case of beta thalassemia. We should have this in mind. And this can also be identified by means of other features such as polychromatic cells and normoblasts, which we shall see in thalassemia. Bone marrow is usually not indicated in a case of iron deficiency anemia, but sometimes it is done to demonstrate the iron stores. So these are the subheadings under which we will be seeing the bone marrow. I shall be skipping certain things. Erythropoiesis is active. It shows a normoblastic or a micronormoblastic pattern of maturation. It is active because the peripheral blood is having a deficiency of hemoglobin. Similarly, myeloid erythroid ratio. The normal myeloid erythroid ratio is 2.5 to 15:1. It can be decreased. That is, WBCs are relatively decreased because of the increase in the erythroblast, or reversed. Iron stores, it can be nil or absent. So look at this one. It is nil in this case, or depleted. Here it is present. The gradation I had shown you in the earlier slide. These are some important parameters. I would like you people to kindly by heart this particular tabular column, because you can answer questions such as thalassemia, iron deficiency anemia, megaloblastic anemia, sideroblastic anemia using the same table. As far as iron deficiency is concerned, the serum iron is reduced, serum ferritin is reduced, and the total iron binding capacity is increased, whereas total iron binding capacity is increased, and the ferritin saturation is decreased. Tissue iron stores is also decreased. Please remember this tabular column. There can be other investigations which can be done. The question for you is lab diagnosis and investigation. You can do an endoscopy to rule out bleeding anywhere. Proctoscopy, that is also an endoscopy done for any rectal bleeding. Barium swallow, we had shown it earlier. Cervical biopsy to rule out malignancy. Endometrial curettage for any disordered uterine bleeding or abnormal uterine bleeding. Stools for ova and cyst. So this is a set of piles that you can see in the rectum. Gracias.